thousands of people gathered to demonstrate over the death of George Floyd. More than 4,000 people were arrested over the weekend, as officials in at least 26 states have activated the National Guard. So to get an idea of just how widespread these demonstrations are, let's take a look at this map, all right? So protests took place in at least 120 cities over the weekend. Now, it's important to note, many, if not most, all of the protests began peacefully, okay? I want to make that very clear. Crowds gathered together to chant and march, demanding an end to police brutality. Some of those protests had extremely moving moments, like in Denver, where hundreds of people laid face down by the state capitol with their hands behind their backs for 9 minutes, mirroring the position George Floyd was before his death. In Iowa, police joined in with protesters, taking a knee in silence, also for 9 minutes, marking the amount of time a white police officer kneeled on George Floyd's neck. Nonetheless, pockets of demonstrations turned into chaotic scenes as night fell, with store windows being broken and looted, vehicles being torched, and clashes with the police. There was also a lot of violence over the weekend, and a warning to our viewers, some of this video is graphic. Well, let's start in Minneapolis. A tanker truck driver was seen speeding through marchers protesting on a bridge. That driver is now being held on probable assault charges, and luckily I get to report that nobody was hurt. In Atlanta, 2 police officers were fired after this video went viral, showing them using excessive force against 2 college students. They were yanked out of their car, and one of them was tased. A lot of people are drawing a distinction between the peaceful protests and the rioting, and they're worried that the real message is being lost, and that includes George Floyd's brother, Terrence, who was on Good Morning America this morning. So let's take a look at what Terrence had to say.
I do feel like it's overshadowing what's going on because, like I said, he was about peace, he was about unity, but the things that's transpiring now, they may call it unity, but it's destructive unity. It's not what he was about. Yeah, he was a motivator. I'm just gonna, that's how I could just sum it up. He was a motivator.
Wow. Big Floyd was known for his peace activism. Lindsay, Al, I want to make this clear. There were like 3 things going on at the same time of the protest. One was for George Floyd, one was looting, just plain and greedy, and one was actual antagonizers who were there to actually cause harm. So let's make sure the message doesn't get diluted. Lindsay, do you feel like it was that complicated for you to see as well?
I think there was a clear, overwhelming amount of people from the protests that I went to that were specifically there to support the cause. Even as an unbiased interviewer and going out there and asking people what was going on, a lot of people, some people were there just because they were stir crazy and inside the house. So that's not somebody who is there for the Black Lives Matter movement. But I think, like you said, it's important to understand why the people who are angry and protesting but not looting stuff are angry for a reason. So always leading with that is very important, especially as people in the media, that these people are not just angry out of nowhere. So when you look at the history of America, right, we have 1619 through 1865, where we were completely enslaved. Then we have 1865 to 1954, where segregation, Jim Crow, we were hung, we were beaten. And so from 1954, we had some semblance of freedom, which gives us 60+ years where we're at right now, of the only time we had freedom in this country. So when people say they shouldn't be that mad, or they should be calmly, peacefully kneeling and doing all this stuff, I understand you, but you're not also understanding the lead of this entire story, why some people are enraged past George Floyd, saying that enough is enough and we don't want to ever do this type of marching or protesting again.
That's very well said. In fact, someone had a sign, Lindsay, from Malcolm X that read, "That's not a chip on my shoulder, that's your foot on my neck." And that is from Malcolm X, and it's why they're angry. Al, did you see a kaleidoscope of sort of different things during that protest?
Lindsay, just like you, I think you went out on Friday night. I went out yesterday, and I'm going to be back out today. And like you said, I didn't see any of the things that we're seeing on the news. And there's something on the news that says if it bleeds, it leads. And it's showing people march peacefully isn't great for the image in terms of making sure the eyeballs stay glued on your screen. It's easy to show people breaking windows and people doing the wrong thing rather than the majority of people, which I saw with my own eyes, not on TV. I got tired of watching TV. I don't want to watch TV anymore. I want to be in the thick of this. I don't want to tweet anymore. I want to focus on like boots on the ground and see who's really about it and who's not. And the people that were down there were really about Black Lives Matter and were really about George Floyd's memory and really about change. So this looting narrative is just a distraction.
That's well said as well.